Hey everybody, Dave Lane here, Councillor at Large, City of St. John's, and I'm taking an opportunity that I'm here in Toronto to, instead of an answer to a question of the week, just to talk about a conference I'm at. It's called CityAge and Build the Future, and I've learned a lot while I'm here. Only 2 days long, but let me talk a little bit about it. I'm here in a pretty cool spot in Toronto. Now, you know, I know that Toronto is like 13 million people and not really St. John's scale, but there is still so much we can learn, and I have learned. And you know, the way the conference actually started was that the chief planner of Toronto told us that the day before, the council had actually approved unanimously a major green space project here. And if you're familiar with Toronto, all those train tracks that are just outside the Rogers Centre or Skydome, they're going to be covered over now with green space. It's accessible. It's really going to connect two sides of the city together. And that was viewed as a priority for the city of Toronto to really enable a better quality of life in this incredible downtown. So that was a very interesting start. But you know, the next guy who got up was the head of global infrastructure at KPMG, and he used a very interesting term called infrastructure morality. And this is, you know, the way we're looking at things now, is that when we build something, that we're actually considering the impact that it has on people. And so what he's talking about is, you know, is it affordable? Is it, you know, to the taxpayer? Is it accessible by those who are going to use it in every way, as many people as possible? And also, is the process to approve and spend this money transparent? And you know, I thought this was really interesting because this is the reality of how these decisions are being made these days. It's not just about, you know, a few people in the back room saying we want to build a huge project and help our buddies. This is actually public policy now, really involves the people, or at least considers the people it's going to affect. And you know, we met or saw the chief planner in Miami, and he talked about how they changed a lot of processes around their code in terms of development, and they made the permitting process a lot more easy. They moved to a form-based code practice, which has to do more like what's your impact on the economy, on the people that are going to use it. Instead of just saying, you know, how can we get this built, they say, how is this going to impact the people that are using it or not using it, just living near there. And so like that is another new way that's starting to change the way we see our cities built. And you know, finally, I was speaking with someone on a break, and she said to me, you know, is the city asking developers or, you know, construction workers or partners on projects, what is your capability to deal with or manage or engage the community that they are impacting? Are we asking that question when we put out a tender or an RFP? And what that means is, are we actually saying, hey, you know, you need to help us engage with the community that you are going to be impacting by building this project? And that is the new message and the new approach that is happening certainly in the Western world, but I think all across the world. People are more involved with the decision making at City Hall. But you know, the Mayor of Toronto spoke as well, and it was great to hear him. And what he said was, Toronto's really in a moment in time. It's a very special moment because there's all these opportunities. The world is looking at Toronto. They're one of the top cities in the world now. They're doing some really impressive things. And by having a moment, and I think St. John's is also at the cusp of about to have a moment, they need to take advantage of that. But we all need to be on board, and I think that while we are all now having access to the decision-making process, we're all having input into that through social media and direct connection to our councillors, and just having the knowledge that things could be done better. It's making it more difficult in some ways to make a decision, but also easier to make a better decision because there's more information being input there. So we just need to be aware of the reality. And I can say now, being at this conference, and there's a lot more to talk about, you know, we're really adapting to a new world, and it's, in my opinion, very positive. I think we're realizing that cities are really connected to the people and are an integral part to growing the economy, changing the economy, and making the world we live in a better place. So I'm really happy and excited to be here in Toronto on your behalf, learning what I can. And one of the big messages is that, you know, the more we can do to make a city a great place to live and work, the more success we're going to have, because it's going to attract people, and success breeds success. So let's work together on that. I'm happy to be your rep here and rep back in St. John's. So please share this with anyone you might think. You can find me on Twitter, Dave Lane Tweets. And I'm looking forward to coming back and answering more questions of the week. So please leave a comment if you can. All right, see you soon. Have a great Thanksgiving weekend.